Hi everybody, I'm Robbie Billups. But where's my partner Jonathan Strickland?
Dude, I don't want to do this. This is like a bad 90s infomercial. I don't want to pop in and out and make a cut.
You're gonna sit down and you're gonna go away and we're gonna cut in between so it looks like you're teleporting. Like Peekaboo in the show.
No, I don't hate it.
Come on, man.
No.
I've always wanted to do something like this.
Well, that's you. I want to be me.
Fine, let's just do it. Welcome to Flashback.
Feeling like the Flash, better yet I'm Barry Allen. Can't rewind time without messing up the balance. Told my girl I don't think I really got the talent. She said go chase your dreams and see what God allows to happen. Past tense to rapping Randy Savage. Do you know how many years they'll label me as average? But now I'm back and I'm better than I've...
Hey everybody, and thanks for joining us this week on the DeeP's Flashback. I'm Robbie.
I'm Jonathan.
And today we're going to be talking about the 12th episode of The Flash, Crazy for You, featuring the Jeff Johns created villain, Peekaboo.
Yeah, Peekaboo was awesome. What'd you think about her?
I thought Peekaboo was exceptionally cool. I thought overall the character could have been handled a little bit better. She was a lot different in the comic book, a lot more three-dimensional, a little two-dimensional on the show. But I did think that it was handled pretty well. It was a good, formidable adversary for Barry with her teleportation powers. But the episode overall I loved, had a lot of human drama and a lot of cool, funny moments and a lot of action and adventure.
Yeah, that opening scene when he rescues that woman out of the car.
Always got a good opening scene on The Flash. I thought it was a really cool scene. My favorite thing was he didn't have to speed away. Now that the Flash is a public figure, he got to stay there and enjoy some praise and thanks. Though it was a little awkward.
Thanks, Flash.
Yeah, right? But it was pretty cool. And then we see the scene where Peekaboo, played by Brittany Oldford, actually breaks out her boyfriend from Iron Heights prison. That was a really, really cool scene. I thought it was shot very well.
Very much. Did you think X-Men 2?
A little bit Nightcrawler-esque, but that is the new status quo.
That's the thing, yeah. People are doing
for
that.
teleportation effects. I thought she was handled pretty well. She's a lot different in the comic book. She first showed up in 2002 in the Flash 180 of the second volume of that series. And in the comic books, she got into crime because she was trying to pay for her father's kidney transplant. And so there was a little bit more morality behind her, not just, well, I'm in love with this guy and we're bad and we go around. And by the way, divey bars, they go to divey bars in Central City, and that's their divey bar. Like, that's a divey bar? Whatever. But I thought the effects was pretty cool. She was a villain created by Jeff Johns, and she was actually going to give her kidney to her father in the comic books, but she couldn't because her powers in the comic book is when anybody touches her, she teleports away. And thus Peekaboo was born. But I thought she was handled pretty well in the show. Also, last week's villain, the Pied Piper, he shows back up. He has a really great subplot throughout the episode with Cisco that I absolutely enjoyed immensely, and I was very thrilled to see a little bit of the future vibe coming out in Cisco's first fight scene.
Yeah, it was cool seeing Pied Piper back because, once again, he was playing chess with Cisco. He was one move ahead of him, and so that made Cisco upset. But, two, seeing him and Cisco fight was kind of cool also.
Now, Cisco can hold down, man. He can throw down. He can hold his own.
Threw a Jason David Frank karate kick in there.
He did, didn't he? I thought it was great. And when he takes over the frequency on whatever's in Piper's ear, and he's like, I know a little something about vibrations too. I mean, that was very much of all he needed was a flamboyant shirt, and he is Vibe at that moment. And that's the most excited in my life I've ever been for Vibe. In fact, Flash has been really good at taking characters that we in the comic book industry usually just write off as joke characters, and has made them very interesting, very four-dimensional even, and very, very cool.
Yeah, they are hinting very much at Cisco being Vibe. When that happens, we do not know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, really cool pairing where he lets Piper out, and he learns a whole lot of information about the Firestorm program. Even learns that Professor Stein and Ronnie Raymond are indeed fused into one being, answering our question about whether it was going to be Ronnie and Jason or Stein and Ronnie. And as we've been talking about over the last few weeks, it is definitely going to be Stein and Ronnie.
So yeah, it's Stein and we awkwardly see Ronnie's face being fused into him, so that confirmed it for Cisco. He's like, okay, I believe you now. So that was interesting. I like the graphics they used for it too. I mean, it looked real.
It looked cool, and I'm very excited to see. And of course, now to you viewers, the mystery of why he says, "I am not Ronnie Raymond."
Right.
There you go. Speaking of Ronnie Raymond, his ex-fiancée, Caitlin Snow, getting over Ronnie this episode with that scene with Cisco in the beginning when he invites her to the bar, and she's like, the thing about moving on is you got to move on. And he's like, but you're not. So she tries to move on. I love the scene with her and Barry consoling each other in their loneliness and going out to the bar, doing karaoke. Obviously, Caitlin is a bad drunk, but a fun drunk. And Barry, of course, can't get drunk, but he's quite the singer. Of course, Grant Gustin was on the TV show Glee, so it's no surprise to us. But, man, I thought it was really cool that they put a scene in there for him just to show out his vocal talent.
Summer Lovin's a classic, man. You can't beat that.
But I really liked their bonding moment. I thought that was really good for the show. Really good for Caitlin to bring her out of the whole just, sad, widow almost, pretty much. She's been kind of two-dimensional so far, and this really fleshes her out a little bit more, and I liked it a lot.
So towards the end of the episode, she's kind of basically tells Cisco, I'm moving on from Ronnie.
Cisco reveals that he feels responsible for Ronnie, and she feels sorry for Cisco.
So do you think they're hinting at her having a thing for Barry, because she kind of had the googly eyes for him at the end?
She did have the googly eyes for Barry, and one thing I'm worried about is I don't want spurned love to be what turns her into a villain, because in the comic books that character becomes the villain, Killer Frost. And I almost don't think they're going to take Caitlin in that direction, and I really hope they don't. And if they do take her in that direction, I really hope the reason is not because she has a thing for Barry and he's not, So, however, that same scene introduces Linda Park. We talked about her last episode. Linda Park was the wife of the future Flash, Wally West. Barry died for a while in 1986 in Crisis on Infinite Earths, and Wally West became the Flash for about 20 years before Barry came back, kind of recently. And she was his wife, and not Iris, but Linda is a fan favorite for amongst many people in my age group. Of course, just being introduced this week, we don't know a lot about Linda Park yet or how the chemistry between her and Barry are going to work, but I'm really looking forward to seeing that. Really cool scene, I thought, in the bar where she gives him his number, or her number.
Very forward. Hey, there's an app. We can switch contact information.
Yeah. Smooth move, Linda.
Does it discreetly, and Barry's like, huh.
Yeah. See, if Barry did that,
Barry's
completely different reaction.
Zero game.
All right. Throughout the entire episode, there were scenes thrown in with Barry's father that were really, really good. And we wanted to save them for right now because we really thought the absolute best part of this episode was Barry's father. From the scene in the beginning where Barry is shocked to see him, and then in the middle, and he gives him the information. Then, of course, he gets stabbed in prison because he's trying to help Barry. But that scene at the end when he's talking to Barry about, if the Flash was my son, I would tell him be careful, but I would tell him I'm proud of him and that he is a hero. Dude, how did that make you feel?
Dude, wrecked me. So, we live in a culture where a lot of fathers don't step up and aren't really in the picture. So I think as a viewer watching that, you get wrecked because you're like, man, how many times have I wanted to hear that? How many times have I never heard that? So seeing that played out, you're like, it wrecks you.
And hearing it from the absent father, who is absent only because he was framed for his wife's murder. So that whole scene, and it was almost like a passing of the torch because, of course, Barry's dad's played by John Wesley Shipp, who was the original Flash in the 90s TV series. So it was almost like a passing of the torch, almost like the scene from Smallville with Christopher Reeve and Tom Welling.
That was awesome. I forgot about that.
Absolutely. So it was cool, it was emotional, and man, does Shipp have some acting chops on him. So, of course, the ending, the fight with Peekaboo, a little bit anticlimactic. Now, I get the fact that, and I love the science in this show. I love that it was all the particulates that they were able to find that led them to Peekaboo and her boyfriend.
Yeah.
But a little bit anticlimactic that I like the idea that if she can't see it, she can't teleport it. So, teleport to it. And I like that, but he just turns out all the lights, and she's like, oh, my boyfriend left me, and then it's over.
I give up, yeah.
Yeah, and okay, your boyfriend went down the tunnel for 2 seconds. Flash can catch up to that. But Flash looked really cool running in that dark tunnel. The effects looked amazing. The red, the yellow, it just popped. It astounded me. All right. Barry's father aside, the really exciting moment of the show happened at the very end, and it wasn't Harrison Wells doing anything,
It wasn't.
Machiavellian or nothing. It was absolutely Grodd. Grodd. Gorilla Grodd. Now, we've been worried. Are we going to see Grodd? Is he going to look cool? Is he going to be ferocious? Is he going to talk?
He was huge, dude. I mean, you didn't get a good glance, but
It was pretty scary. It reminded me something like from Jurassic Park.
I was about to say. Yeah.
Like, it was just completely terrifying, and I thought it looked cool. He was writing his name,
He was.
so I think he's going to be talking. Will he have mental abilities? I don't know, because in the comic books, Gorilla Grodd can control people, obviously. And in the New 52, he does so by eating people's brains. So I don't know if they're going to bring that into it. But Grodd looked amazing. He was super scary. Just snatched those guards or whatever they were away, and it was like a horror movie, man.
Is Grodd, does he have speed powers like Barry?
In the New 52, Grodd was part of the Speed Force energy, so he did have speed powers.
That'd be crazy.
But that's in the New 52. That's a recent addition to the Gorilla Grodd mythos. But we're really, really looking very much forward, and we're super excited for more Grodd in this show. And I'm pretty sure we're going to get it before it's all said and done. So, next week, the Nuclear Man, Firestorm, in all of his glory. All the subplots have built up to this.
Right.
We're going to see Firestorm. We're going to get the bottom line. We're going to know what's going on. We're going to meet him. We're going to see him. I'm excited.
I'm stoked, man.
I've never been super excited for Firestorm.
Yeah, it's Firestorm, but...
I know we joke around, but these are characters that have just been tossed around and not much care given to for like 20 to 30 years, and then C-Dubs comes in and just polishes them all off and makes them work, makes them fresh, makes them unique, gives them something for us to sink our teeth into, and just absolute dramatic fulfillment for me.
I like it because it's different. Like, we know Superman, we know Batman, we know these characters, we love these characters, but to see someone like a Firestorm, what Arrow's do with the Atom, that's cool. It's creative, it's different. People haven't seen that yet, so people are liking it. I think that's why people are getting into it more.
Looking very excited. Overall, I really liked the episode. Thought the fight with Peekaboo was a little bit anticlimactic, but I love the effects, love the humor, love the drama.
Loved it, man. Can't wait till next week.
Can't wait till next week with Firestorm. We're excited. We'll be here. I hope you'll be here. And on behalf of everybody at the Deep Comics and Games, thank you for joining us this week on Flashback. I'm Robbie Billups.
I'm Jonathan Strickland.
And we'll flashback next week.
Feel like the Flash, better yet I'm Barry Allen. Can't rewind time without messing up the balance. Told my girl I don't think I really got the talent. She said go chase your dreams and see what God allows.